Good morning, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us here. My name is Brian Bell. I'm the medical director of the Providence Oral Head and Neck Cancer Program, and I'm also the Providence Portland Medical Foundation board chair. So thank you all for joining us this morning. It's inspiring to see so many of you here to honor the incomparable Mr. Robert W. Franz, or as many of you knew him, Bob. Your presence today is a testament to the lasting impression he left on so many of us, on Providence, and on those with whom he came in contact throughout Oregon and the world. Bob was a force of nature. He believed in pushing others to be their very best, and he did the same for the scientists and physicians in this cancer center behind me. Up until just a few years ago, there were really only 3 ways to treat cancer: surgery, radiation, and chemotherapy. For almost 100 years, we in oncology kept doing the same thing over and over again and expected to get a different result. But there were a few who thought differently. There were a few researchers who believed that one of the keys to curing cancer lay not in the surgeon's knife or the radiation therapist's beam, but within our own body. After decades of laboring in the wilderness, of having their ideas go unnoticed or unfunded, researchers who focused on boosting the immune response to fight cancer have finally come of age. The 4th modality, cancer immunotherapy, has arrived and is transforming the practice of oncology by generating unprecedented improvements in survival outcomes for patients with this most capricious of diseases. Today, Providence is a global leader in cancer immunotherapy, thanks in large part to Bob Franz. Because of his vision and commitment to supporting cancer research at Providence, we have been able to offer life-saving therapies years before they were available elsewhere. The generosity of Bob, of the Franz family, his sister Elsie, has impacted the lives of countless patients and will continue to do so for decades to come. It is a perfect Oregon morning, and I can't think of a better time or a better place than to honor one of Oregon's finest sons, Robert W. Franz. To start us off, please welcome Community Ministry Board Member, Sister Lucille Dean.
Now that the crane brought me up. Good morning. As a sister of Providence, I'm delighted to be with you all here today as you celebrate still another step forward in your commitment to providing compassionate and quality care for all who can benefit from your expertise. As we celebrate, I think it would be good for us to reflect on how this is still another part of the unfolding of our ability to respond to the call that is our mission as people of Providence, as Providence St. Joseph Health. Reflecting on our history, we become ever more aware of the goodness and generosity of members of the communities in which we serve, as they are inspired to partner with us to contribute from their own talents, passions, and resources. Certainly, that is the story of Bob Franz, as it is witnessed in the Robert W. Franz Cancer Research Center. Hopefully, my few comments will inspire us to thank our provident God for first calling us to embrace the mission and then making it possible for us to carry it forward. There is a part of our Sister of Providence history that I love to tell, that of the arrival in the West of Mother Joseph and her 4 companions in 1856. They came with trust in Providence, a desire to respond to the needs as they discovered them, an abundance of energy, a passion that was yet to be realized, and not one red cent. From the beginning, they relied upon the goodness and generosity of the people they had come to serve. When they arrived, the counted population was 4,000, half of them women, And Mother Joseph bonded almost immediately with those women who were Catholic, Methodist, Episcopalian, and Jewish. And together they were intent upon addressing the needs of our community. One of the obvious needs was a hospital, and it was realized in 1858, 2 years after the sisters arrived. Our archives document the event in this way. One day in mid-March, the pastor was taking a walk, and he spotted a shiny gold coin in the dust. He picked it up, and the next day he gave it to Mother Joseph and said to her, "This is the first farthing dedicated to the hospital." A woman of action, Mother Joseph called a meeting of the local women. There were 16 present and 13 who signed on to wanting to be part of the group. They formally organized themselves into the Ladies of Charity, and they set out to realize the dream of the hospital. They committed themselves to meet every 2 weeks and to each contribute 12.5 cents a week. So 50 cents a month is what this all began on. And then they also pledged that they would make collections to support the poor. Mother Joseph dedicated a building she had recently built. It was supposed to be a laundry and a bakery. But within a few months, it was a hospital, rather small, rather humble beginnings. There was space that was limited to 4 hospital beds, 4 chairs, and 4 tables. It was the first hospital in what was then Washington Territory, and word of its existence and welcoming atmosphere spread rapidly. Today, we stand here in this grand and beautiful facility with its state-of-the-art capabilities, its caring and compassionate caregivers, and its community partners who together continue to respond to the call of each patient to know me, care for me, and ease my way. The ability to do so is through the grace of God and the generosity of persons such as W Franz, who for more than 30 years gave of his time, his talent, and his resources as a member of the Portland community and as a member of the Providence Portland Medical Foundation. As Bob now enjoys the grandeur of salvation and the rewards for all the goodness in his life, we ask that God continue to bless all of us as we stand here, to infuse in us a like passion for the good that is to be done and the energy to carry that forward. May God bless us all. Amen.
Thank you, Sister Lucille. It's a beautiful start to our program. Pulitzer Prize winner, presidential biographer, and authority on leadership studies, James McGregor Byrne, defined leadership as being either transforming or transactional. Transactional leaders barter one favor for another to achieve an aim or a desired policy, but rarely create fundamental change within a system or an organization. Transformational leaders, on the other hand, redesign perceptions and values or change paradigms by articulation of an energizing vision or empowerment through actions or education. Our next speaker has been a transformational leader in the truest sense of the word. With Bob at his side, he built an entire cancer research team dedicated to immunotherapy from the ground up, and did it when nobody thought it would work. In the process, they have helped to fundamentally change the practice of oncology as we know it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce the man who started it all here over 25 years ago. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Walter Erba.
Thank you. I look out here at all the people, and I think almost everybody here knew Bob, and certainly everyone knows of Bob, and I wonder if he would be pleased to have this many people here, or whether he'd just go, oh, pleased. I think it's probably the latter. He'd want to go in and have a cup of coffee, but My first cup of coffee with Bob was about 25 years or so on one of my recruitment trips here to the Portland area. Had never been to Oregon, as my mother said. And she never forgave me for taking her grandchildren to Oregon, and I think she refused to pronounce it the correct way just to spite me. But during those visits, Bob and I had many conversations, and he was very interested in just what would it take to make a community hospital like ours be great at something like cancer research. And many conversations over time, and then the next thing I remember was this dinner in the London Grill. John, you were there. I don't know if you were. That was sort of the last recruitment pitch. It was the hard sell. Why aren't you going to come? And I was sitting between Bob Franz and Earl Childs. And their job was to convince me that what we were thinking of was indeed possible and that they would be there to help. And they made a commitment to help, and I'm proud to say it was a commitment that both of them kept for the remainder of their lives, a commitment that helped us recruit Dr. Byrne Fox and a number of other scientists who are here, a commitment that helped us put together this beautiful building which houses state-of-the-art research and importantly, state-of-the-art care for all the patients in our community that are affected with cancer. The next thing I remember, which was another indication of his commitment, was a dinner at the DoubleTree at the Lloyd Center, the hotel there. And I was present, and Bryce, who I saw here, Bryce Strang, was present as well, and Russ Danielson, and me and Bob and Elsie. And at that time, we were having a conversation about support, and Bob sort of said, like you might think he would say, well, what could you do with $2 million, you know? Okay, wait till the food's unstuck. But that was an indication of his deep commitment to the work that we were doing. And I am so grateful that Elsie was there at that dinner, because Bob, as you know, didn't want any fuss about recognition. He's very leery about recognition, sort of a character trait that he exhibited his entire life. But because Elsie was there, when Bob had to make a rest stop, Elsie said, you know you have to name something after him for this. And we had a great conversation because we needed her permission to do that. And she helped us name part of the Earl A. Childs Research Institute, the Robert W. Franz Cancer Center. And we have existed under that name for a number of years. During those years, Bob continued his commitment. His gift giving made Kelly's Decembers very, very nice for a number of years, and supported a lot of the wonderful work that goes on here. And over time, got to know Bob and his deep commitment to the University of Portland, the Catholic Church, in addition to everything Providence. We also became friends, and we learned that we shared a great love for college football. Now, Bob was lucky because he went to Notre Dame, right? And he had a good team to cheer for. My team shall remain nameless. But I know Bob's happy now that his Fighting Irish are 4-1, and their only loss is to the number 5 team in the country. If he were here, I would remind him that the only reason for their success is the quarterback from New Jersey who inexplicably chose Notre Dame over Rutgers for his college degree. So Bob served as our Cancer Leadership Committee, on our Cancer Leadership Committee for 15 years. He was the chair for the first 5 years of its existence. And he was generous with both his treasure and his time. He taught us all how to run a meeting. He helped recruit other community leaders, and he inspired all of us by doing what I think he did best, and that was the lead by example. An example that leads us directly to today, a very special day. Today we honor Bob for his lifetime of service and commitment to cancer research. Throughout his life and through his estate, Bob gave $40 million to Providence, making him the single largest donor in the history of Providence in Oregon. And so today we honor him, but before I go any further, I wanted to welcome one of Bob's close friends and someone who's not a stranger to any of us here, and that is Carolyn Winter, to come up to the podium. I am helping you. I forgot to help her. Carolyn, you were close with Bob and Elsie during the 30 years he spent with Providence as a board member and a generous supporter, and he held you close in his heart, just like we do. You're welcome. I know how grateful he was for your friendship and for all that you did to inspire others to support the important work taking place in the lab and in this building. All of us in the Research Center are grateful for what you have done and continue to do to help us raise money to fund new research, recruit the brightest new scientists, all in the hopes of one day finishing cancer. So it's only fitting that you help me do the honors. You got the button? I'm going to read this so I get it right. In humble gratitude for his unwavering commitment, service, and generous support during his lifetime and through his estate, we are proud to name this center in his honor, introducing the Robert W. Franz Cancer Center. Yay! Great job, Carolyn. Yeah. So we all put together a short little video in honor of this tremendous occasion, and please join me in taking a look at it right now.
Bob Franz has been a tremendous supporter of cancer research from the very beginning.
He helped us recruit a couple of first investigators. He funded a lot of their research before they were able to get their own grants.
Bob Franz is the single largest individual donor that the Cancer Center has ever had.
What Bob helped us start was a journey on could we actually cure cancer?
Bob was one of the original funders of our Cancer Research Institute.
Bob was a very engaged donor who really cared deeply about Providence and cared deeply about the work that we did. And I love that passion that Bob had.
What he saw was excellence. He wanted Providence to be an excellent hospital. If we're doing research, he wanted us to be excellent at research.
He really cared about what we were doing, why we were doing it, and that we could ultimately make a difference in people's lives through providing great care, but also in maybe over time, fundamentally changing the world around cancer. And that's what he cared about. We at Providence are so grateful for the tremendous gift that Bob has given us.
Bob's gift can be a transformative gift. It allows us to think about the future in ways we never have before. And what's special about this place is we're really one of the few places whose focus is completely on understanding the immune system and figuring out how you can manipulate it to make cancer go away.
We're already a national, international presence, but this will give us an opportunity to even elevate that bar further, to continue the work harder than ever, because you want to honor what the gift meant.
There's a lot of cancer. We have a lot of work to do, and I believe that the work is going to be done right here. Naming the Cancer Center after Bob is such a special thing. What an incredible way to honor his family, his memory, and inspiring us all to do better and help finish cancer.
What Bob's gift will do is incredible for an organization like Providence and for the research endeavor underway. To be able to do the kind of research that we do just doesn't happen without philanthropy.
I know we won't have a Bob Franz, but what I do hope and what I feel that our community is capable of is finding those people to step up and continue this incredible giving.
So we will need people to emulate Bob Franz and follow in his footsteps and be willing to support this very important work in our community to help finish cancer for Oregonians and people throughout the world. Bob's gifts will allow us to build upon our achievements, create more labs, recruit more researchers, and amplify our efforts to finish cancer. Now, Bob, like us, was all about the patient. He understood that the better our research was, the more lives we would save. He knew that there were real patients awaiting for the results of our research, and when our research is successful and a new treatment is developed, and we can make cancer go away, we can save a life, a special privilege to save a life, and return that person to their family. We give them more moments with those they love. Those are the stories that inspire us and inspired Bob, and he made more of them possible. Stories like Stefano's. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Stefano Giovanni.
Hello, good morning everyone. My name is Stefano. What is your name? Just kidding. So mine was a reoccurring cancer. I thought I was done with it, so when they told me that cancer came back, I was really shocked and scared. I found out 2 weeks before my wife was due with our second baby, Mila. So I told the doctor that I was going to have a baby, and I joked about the fact that I asked him, could we please postpone the cancer? Can we just wait until I have the baby? But unfortunately, cancer doesn't work like that. It was very overwhelming, and I felt I had to make a decision quick. So I spoke with my oncologist, I spoke with my naturopath doctor here at Providence, and we all agree on the fact that I had to go through chemo. The chemo was the best option for me. Mila was born on October 16th, and I started chemo on October 31st. Wow. So I was really scared. I was scared for myself, but mostly I was scared for my kids. I was scared that I wouldn't be able to see them grow up, so that I wouldn't be able to take care of them and take care of my wife. I have to say that Providence was amazing. I had so much support, and everyone was incredibly professional. They were all very kind and attentive, and I made really great connections here with my doctor, with Dr. Godwin, with Dr. Ken Weiser, who's actually my friend now. I want to say that, yeah, everyone here, from the person at the front desk, through the nurses, and the doctors, and the social workers, everyone here took such an amazing care. And I have to say that I'm forever thankful to all of them and to donors like Mr. Franz who support the research here at Providence. It's because of you that I'm still here today holding Mila and sharing my story. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. Well, she's asleep, otherwise she would have said thank you too. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Stefano. That is fabulous. To finish out, I'd like to introduce our last speaker of the morning, who's the Chief Executive of Providence Portland Medical Center, and really an incredible partner in delivering world-class health care to our patients. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paul Gaydon.
Thank you, Brian, and good morning, and thank you all for being here today. It's a beautiful day. We couldn't have orchestrated better weather, and if you had any unwavering feelings, we know that it's a provident God shining down on us. And what better background noise than the low hum of 4x4 truck? No, I'm just joking. What better background noise than the sound of hope? And that's the kids over here at the Child Center that you hear, and Stefano's sleeping baby that he was holding. If nothing brings hope better than listening to the sound of children. Today marks another milestone moment for Providence. Our team of researchers are worldwide trailblazers, dedicated and compassionate caregivers, and patients who look to us to provide cutting-edge research and exceptional, compassionate, and unforgettable care. This is a proud moment for all of us, a special moment as we honor a man whose humble leadership and quiet passion pushed us to dig deeper and reach further. Bob Franz was a pioneer. He was a visionary. If you didn't know it, you know it now. Generous supporters like Bob have helped fuel innovation and research so we can do so much more and do it faster. Bob is deeply missed, but he's going to be remembered daily. Every time we walk through these doors, we'll remember his commitment to Providence, and we will recommit to our mission and our work here at Providence for our patients. May your light continue to shine as we dig deeper and reach further every day to finish cancer. So without further ado, I'd like to invite all of you to follow Doctors Erba and Bell and myself into the lobby here and enjoy refreshments. We'll have another unveiling of a piece of beautiful art inside to help commemorate this special occasion and this very important man to Providence and to our community. So thank you all for being here, and please follow us inside.